Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman and Lois Season 4. Today we're going to be talking about the opening of Season 4. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay guys, today we're going to be breaking down an article from Screen Rant. Link will be in the description below. The title of the article is Superman Lois Season 4 risks repeating a classic DC Universe mistake. We're going to be breaking it down and I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions about how I think Season 4 is going to begin and the way that they're going to take it, and are they actually risking repeating a big DCU mistake that they made in the past. So just before we get into the main topic, I want to remind you guys that we are doing a giveaway for those of you guys who buy merch today up until the 28th of August, so that is less than a month. Every person who orders a piece of merchandise from my new merch collection will be entered into winning a free copy of The Flash Season 9 on DVD. That's going to be released to you guys and announced on August 28th. So go get merch now if you want to support the channel and also take part in this giveaway. The more items you get in the store, the more your name gets entered into the random generator that I'll be doing at the end of August. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to be breaking down the article bit by bit and I'm going to be telling you my thoughts and opinions. So this is how it begins. Based on Season 3 setup, Superman and Lois Season 4 is at risk of repeating a huge mistake from the DCEU. For now, there's no official word on the problems for the Kent family will be facing when Superman and Lois returns for its 4th season, which obviously we don't know the release date right now. We don't know if it's coming next summer or in the autumn or fall. However, the cliffhanger ending of the Season 3 finale does provide some hints in terms of what's around the corner. So, Superman and Lois Season 3 ended the conflict with Bruno Mannheim, but two major villains remain on the table for now. Recently released from prison and on the hunt for revenge, Michael Cudlitz's Lex Luthor just transformed Bizarro into Doomsday, paving the way for an explosive battle between Superman and his iconic DC Comics foe. Interestingly, the episode didn't offer a conclusion to the fight, as Clark and Doomsday were still engaged in a heated showdown. Depending on who wins, the outcome of the fight could go a long way towards shaping the story for Season 4. So now this is where they truly get into it in this article, because Superman and Lois, as you guys know, sets up the death of Superman. That is what they were hinting at, because Doomsday is Superman's ultimate foe. He is literally created as a weapon to kill Superman, just like in the comics, and just like here, Lex Luthor has done it to take out Superman once and for all, and so Bizarro has morphed and evolved and changed into Doomsday, and he's now this massive creature that is all powerful, and Superman is going to have to try and defeat him. He was very nearly defeated in the Season 3 finale, but likewise Doomsday was nearly defeated, or so it seemed. And then they ended Season 3 with the cliffhanger of Superman and Doomsday fighting on the moon. And so they go on to say, the fact that the fight is still ongoing creates concerns that Superman is about to meet his end. The mere existence of Doomsday and Superman and Lois gives credence to that possibility, especially since killing Clark is the monster's most famous act in DC Comics. Doomsday notoriously killed Clark in the iconic DC storyline, The Death of Superman. So Superman and Lois has long held strong Death of Superman connections via the presence of characters like Steel. And it shouldn't be forgotten that Steel was introduced during the Death of Superman storyline as a superhero who went on to become a stand-in for Clark after the latter died. That is very important. So with Steel, Nat and Jordan around, Superman and Lois would be able to properly explore the aftermath of Clark's death were it to happen in the show. In the comic book version of the original story, other heroes stepped up when the Man of Steel fell. Since Superman and Lois has additional superheroes in its supporting cast now, it too can provide potential Superman substitutes. For all intents and purposes, the CW series has already got the tools in place for a somewhat accurate Death of Superman adaptation. So let's break this down. So far, I think everything that they've said is entirely true. Season 3 ended with the conflict between Superman and Doomsday, and it pretty much looks pretty dire for Superman. So I wouldn't put it past them to actually begin Superman and Lois Season 4 with the Death of Superman story. We've seen big storylines be tackled in like 2 to 3 episodes. Just look at Flashpoint. Everyone wanted it to go on longer, but because it's a limited show, like there's a limited amount of episodes that you can have, and especially Superman Lois only having 10 episodes, I don't actually know how likely it is that they want to kill off Superman and have Tyler gone for like 2 to 3 episodes, considering that season 4 is going to be 10 episodes long. So that's the one thing going against it, but going for it is literally the power of Doomsday. Like, he is so powerful, it's a big comic book storyline, and everyone would be interested in how it's resolved. Plus also, I think if they were to get Nat and also John Henry Irons back for the first couple of episodes, they could totally replace him with Superman. But the main problem is we don't know how often these supporting characters are going to be back, because it was announced a while ago that the CW is cutting back on Superman Lois. Basically, they cut all of the supporting cast bar the main family members and Lex Luthor from being series regulars on the show, so we don't know if all of them are going to show up. So let's just hope that Steel can show up. So that's also another red flag right now. But let's continue with this. So they go on to say, Superman and Lois Season 4 may repeat the DCEU's Doomsday story problem. So they say, as for how such a storyline would work in Superman and Lois Season 4, chances are it would involve Clark meeting his end in the season premiere. That is entirely correct. This could result in either Superman having a prolonged absence from the series or getting resurrected within just a few episodes. Also, I should point out here, now this is just me speaking, if season 4 is the last season, imagine how peak it would be, how bad it would be if Superman were to be gone for like 3 episodes and you would only see Tyler for 7 final episodes. So I feel like if we get Death of Superman, it's kind of actually a good sign that maybe we get another season, season 5, if they are confident. So let's continue with this, but neither would come without problems of their own. Highlighting the emotional toll his death takes on the family would seem unnecessary if he gets brought back too soon. So they're talking if it gets resolved as fast as Flashpoint did in like 1-2 episodes. So resurrecting him would greatly negate the impact of his death. I think this is entirely true. I completely agree. Superman not staying dead long enough feels highly probable, particularly with season 4 only consisting of 10 episodes and will likely serve as the show's last, and that's just them making a presumption there. But I think if we go by that presumption, if it is the last season, I presume they wouldn't go for Death of Superman, because as they say, leaving out Superman would be a huge loss. So the problems of taking this course with Clark were already on display in the DCU. Batman vs Superman notably ended with Superman dying to stop Doomsday. The DCU followed up this tragic event with Justice League, which was forced to rush through Superman's resurrection. Not only did his death last just a short time on the big screen, but the DCEU didn't wind up leaving much more room for Superman to receive a meaningful story in the film. By adapting the death of Superman, Superman and Lois would have to find a way around the same issues. If not, its story could just suffer, just like Justice League did. I think this is pretty obvious. I think, you know, if there is not enough time and they can't actually show the true impact of the loss of Superman and then bring him back super fast, you know, there's going to be a problem. And I think that's just like the paradox of adapting this Death of Superman storyline, because it's really a paradox. Like, you don't have Superman, but then you have the death of Superman, and it's supposed to be impactful, but at the end of the day, it's a Superman show, so not having him there for a prolonged period of time would actually be a big mistake. We've seen that before with like Supergirl. She barely showed up for like 6 episodes in the final season, and people really felt that. So, the next part of the article and the final part is how Superman Lois Season 4 can avoid the DCU's Superman death mistake. So, in spite of Superman Lois' setup for the death of Superman, there's no assurance that the series is about to repeat one of the DCU's biggest mistakes. Actually, that's true. Like, some of us have been theorizing what happens if we start Season 4 off with a time jump and you get to see the aftermath of that fight rather than continuing that fight. So, I guess maybe Superman could be dead in that aftermath, but he also could be alive. And so they go on to say, similar to how Smallville delivered a twist on the story by having Clark fake his own death after beating Doomsday, Superman Lois doesn't have to kill off Tyler Hoechlin's character, although Superman's death comes with a ton of storytelling potential for the rest of its main characters. Keeping him alive may be better as an option, even if it's the easiest way out for the show. Also, Clark winning and killing Doomsday wouldn't come across as anticlimactic anticlimactic given that this ending would serve a clear purpose. Whether he wins or not the challenge he faced from Doomsday proved just how dangerous Lex Luthor really is, and Lex is a series regular, so he's going to be causing a lot of problems. So by letting Doomsday lose in just his second episode, Lex has already emerged as an incredibly formidable villain. What he accomplished in the finale set a high bar for the next scheme, regardless of what it might be. So in an admittedly unlikely event that Superman and Lois does kill off Superman, perhaps the only path it could take to avoid what went wrong with the DCEU is if Clark stays dead, but obviously they're not going to be doing that. But that's what Screen Rant is suggesting, and they say killing off one of its two leads would come with separate risks, but it would enable the series to explore new and interesting territory. But without Superman, that would be huge. If they just neglected Superman, it just isn't going to happen. Like, if it happens for 1-2 episodes max, and that's it, because it's 10 episodes. And this is me talking here, this is just my opinion, just reading and reacting to this article. And so the biggest story this would lay out the groundwork for would be Jordan's evolution into the next Superman, but I don't think that would happen fast enough to make it actually impactful, because he's like, you know, at the point where he's not even properly trained. And yes, he loves the fame of being a superhero, but he can't replace Superman right now. And so Jordan would have to experience significant character growth if he's to fill in his father's shoes. So that does it for the article, guys. Please let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about all of this? This is a very interesting article. I obviously have some strong opinions about some of this. I agree with quite a lot of it. A lot of it makes sense, like starting season 4 with the death of Superman. However, considering it's a 10-episode season, are they going to risk it? That is the big question. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help out this video. Also subscribe and turn on notifications if you're new around here. And you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.